Good morning, Jorge. Good morning, Andrew.
Morning.
Hello. So we're here to, speak about your case and your situation. It's a very powerful story. We know you're eager to speak about your story, and you did waive your rights to privacy so that you could speak to all the individuals out there in our field office. Could you please introduce yourself to everyone and kind of give a brief description on why we're here today?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Panganiban. I've been with the agency for 15 years. In a nutshell, I'm here because I was going through some issues, some traumatic events that led to an arrest. Unfortunately, I know how ironic it is for an upholder of the law to be arrested, but that was my case. I was charged with a felony, and luckily I had the union to back me up and help me out. I was in a dire situation, and they really were there to help me out.
So, you were proposed with an indefinite suspension, and you were proposed with a removal from service, correct?
That is correct.
I would really like to hit home on your story because it's so powerful, right? It's a great redemption story. Could you please tell us about your story that led us to everything that's happening or happened?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was about 2 years ago. That's when I was arrested. March 20th of 2020. I remember that date distinctly. How could I forget? So I was undergoing an extreme amount of pressure, an extreme amount of stress. It's in the midst of COVID and everything. Some people may not realize, but that on top of everything else, work situations, household situations, it just was like the straw that broke the camel's back, essentially. I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. Honestly, I felt like I was reaching the end of the tunnel, and I was weak at that point. When actually I thought I was strong. I thought I had everything together. I thought I could take on the load on myself and get myself out of any bind. But unfortunately, that night I took my service-issued weapon and headed to my head, to my temple, and I wanted things to end. I was tired. I felt hopeless, and unfortunately, the gun went off. But however, it was like an inch away from my head. Hit the ceiling, hit a small little pipe like that big, and that was a water line, and just started flooding down in my house. And I couldn't believe it.
So, what occurred after that? You were arrested, correct?
Yes, I was.
So obviously with that process, our agency took action against you. Initially it was the indefinite suspension. They were going to suspend you without pay.
Yes.
We did also fight a removal on your behalf. What were your thoughts or worries with the representation, the process that we invoked to represent you, to defend you, to try to help the agency see it in a different perspective than what the courts did?
Well, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I was blind with the whole process of everything. I didn't know whether I should get my own personal lawyer or what to do. I mean, it was just like more pressure falling down on me, And I decided to reach out to the union, and it's a decision that I do not regret at all. I mean, all of them were there for me. They'll help me out. They let me know everything that was going on in the process. They kept my spirits up, let me know what was important, and they were uplifting. They really were. So with the indefinite suspension, of course I was worried, because how am I gonna pay for my mortgage, put food on the table for my family? I mean, it's hard. I mean, if you can really think about being in that situation, it's like a nightmare. That's real. And they were able to calm me down and give me hope. I mean, at first it was just a little bit of hope, but that little bit of hope spreads like a wildfire, and they really got my spirits up.
That's That's perfect. I would like to ask you too, because like in the very beginning, it's so scary, right?
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going to happen. Most people who are being proposed punishment, they don't know. It's a very scary situation, no matter how severe the punishment is or not, right? It's still scary, right?
Yeah.
So, at what point did you start to feel more comfortable with the process and your representation?
Well, after talking to all of the stewards and speaking to you, Derrick, you kept me positive. You always told me like exactly what was going on, what your strategy was going to be, what you guys planned on doing when conversing with management, and just all the positive attributes that I've had and taken throughout the 15 years I've been here. How you were going to use that to show that, hey, I mean, I made a mistake, but it shouldn't define me. It's like what I've done afterwards that defines me. Like, I look back at it now as, yeah, it was a mistake, but it was also an opportunity to make myself better, not only as an employee of the agency, but also as a person in general. And it's really helped me throughout my marital status, with my kids, with everything, with work. And yeah, and you helped me believe that. Like, hey, you kept reassuring me, hey, you know what, we all make mistakes, but I know you're not a bad person, and I'm gonna help you get through this. And that just motivated me, and it helped me.
So you would say that we were able to provide you with that hope and
Oh,
positive.
for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's what we strive for.
I can see that.
When we presented your case, what were your thoughts? What at the time did you feel about how it went, and what were your thoughts in the days after?
Honestly, I was pretty blown away with your guys' presentation. The union steward, Miss Arajo, her presentation it felt like to me that she had spent like weeks or months in preparation for it, because it was well written. The things that she said really hit me too, hit my heart. I was thinking, wow, I mean, the way she's able to take my situation and make it look like a positive, it was amazing to me. I thought it was great. And afterwards, again, you guys reassured me that, hey, the presentation went well. And I know you guys weren't just, yanking my leg. I knew for sure that you guys knew what you were talking about, and that you guys were like making that light just even brighter in my life. So that was good. That was for the first one.
Was there anything that stood out to you in the representation, either the indefinite suspension or the removal, just something that like kind of stuck with you?
As far as
Just anything in general. Like, what were your, like, did it leave you with like, oh wow,
oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I was amazed. I didn't know that you guys were able to do such a well thought out, well written presentation. I thought it looked like you guys were lawyers. The way you guys spoke and the way you guys presented yourselves, it was top notch, professional, and amazing. And I really got the feeling that you guys were really, really fighting for me. Like, you guys took it personally. Like, I didn't just pay you, hey, here's my case, can you guys go through the ropes and do whatever. But no, like, you guys took it personally, and you made me feel comfortable. After going through like the court system and everything, it was like night and day. So I felt warm with you guys.
That's good. So with that being said, we're gonna come to the conclusion of your cases. You had two separate cases.
Mm-hmm.
You had an indefinite suspension and a removal. What was the outcome of your indefinite suspension?
So the indefinite suspension was rescinded. Praise the Lord. They decided to not go that route. And also the removal from federal service was rescinded too. And, I just praise the Lord that you guys were there to help me out with that. So because of you and, the generosity of the agency, and I was able to keep providing for my family, keep continuing to better myself.
It's amazing. Now that everything is all said and done, right? Is there anything else that you wanted to say about your story? Is there anything that you wanted to say about how you feel about the process?
You're definitely not alone. I mean, if any of you guys are going through anything similar with what I've gone through, when you reach out to the union, you're not alone. You really are not. They will be there by your side answering all your questions, because I had a lot of questions. I mean, it was a long, drawn out process, and I couldn't always depend on them to get back to me, like immediately. If I text them or call them, and they would be there to reassure me that, hey, things are going good. The process is what the process is, but we got your back. And I did not feel alone, because for the longest time leading up to the reason why I was arrested, I felt alone. You know, I felt I had to take on life alone. And it's nice to know that the union and other support groups that are out there, anything, like for me, it was church. It's nice to know that you're not alone. And the union had my back. And reach out to them for anything. They're there to help you. They really are. I can attest to that.
That was really powerful, man. Thank you for everything that you were able to sit down and talk to us about today. We're glad that we were able to do everything that we were able to do. Jorge, do you have anything to say?
There you have it all. I would like to ask you, Andrew, one thing.
Sure.
If you could step aside from yourself, look at everything that you've gone through, the individuals, the agency, the chapter, everyone, what is the one thing that you would tell all our members? And keep in mind that it's a very powerful statement that you have, a very touching story, something that is gonna be close to our hearts for as long as we can remember. So please let them know
Okay.
what it is you think.
Don't give up on hope. Get the help if you need the help. And even better, if you feel like you're going down that downward slope, seek help, because it's out there. And that was a mistake that I made. I didn't seek it out before any of this happened. But, you know, I'm blessed in the fact that although I made the mistake, there was that huge support group with the union to help me get through that mistake. And the mercy of the agency helped me out too. And that's because these guys are able to, you know, plead my story to them, communicate with them and let them know, hey, yeah, sure, this guy made a mistake, but we're here to help him do better, become better. And they did exactly that. So don't lose hope, get the help. It's out there. And reach out to the union for anything you need, because like I said, I can attest to how helpful they are.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime, dude.
Thank you.